militias.
So why did you say they did on January 22nd, 2023?
I never said that. A candidate of all progressive conference as Osemwegie and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria where we see a political party creating a militant arm leading to election.
Yesterday you said the man was corrupt, said he was weak, said he messed us up. You shouted loud on every TV screen, said Nigeria deserves a better king. You
in trying to remove
Jonathan, your fist, said the mandate was stolen, you couldn't resist. You there were like a lion, bold and loud. Now you whispered the opposite before the crowd.
That were from the Sahel region, that were imported into Nigeria, and a former chairman of PDP made that statement.
To the gate of Asorak, suddenly the tune changed on the clock. The same man you said would never change, now you praise him like he's heaven sent. You used to sing the people's song, now you dance where the big men belong. Yesterday you spoke for the land, today you clap for the rulers.
You said it was so corrupt you couldn't eat food for 3 days.
I never said that. Where?
These hungry charlatans know the truth. They know the man they are trying to defend is indefensible. So they lie, they deny, we know them all. Rino, Mokri and others, they twist the story just to cover the shame. Or the insecurity in the land is louder than their speeches. The hunger in the streets is louder than their propaganda. The pain of the people sticks louder than their empty rhetoric. Nigerians can see through the cover-up. They hear beyond the loud threats. You cannot deceive them anymore. Two mouths, talking left, talking right. Yesterday you fought the power, today you join the fight.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. It's 4 p.m. Nigerian time. Thanks for joining me. So, as usual, as time goes on, we are going to open our lines and also allow you to join us through the link on the comment section. This is the second day of the series of, exposing the activities of Jihad. That is the original name of the Boko Haram sect, Jihad, as-Sunnah. So, as I used to say, there is a famous quote about Einstein that if you give him an hour to solve the problem on earth, he is going to use 59 minutes defining the problem and using 1 minute to solve it. So we continue to stress it that a lot of people find it difficult to understand what is actually going on in Nigeria because they are unable to define the insecurity situation we have in Nigeria. So up to today, a lot of people are still thinking that this is just mere terrorism, it's just like crime now. Oh, they need money. Maybe that is why they're just kidnapping people. Oh, maybe they don't need money. They just need a place to stay. No, it is beyond all those things you are just, seeing. So that is why we continue to stress this issue. And we are going around also inviting people who are in the forefront fighting against these people, both locally and internationally. So and that is why today we are still going to bring in guests so that they will share with us how far they have gone about this. And no matter what everybody is doing, you know what? The liberation of the people will boil down to individual effort to defend him or herself. And that is why we always advocate for people to make sure that they become the police of themselves, like you become a vigilante for your family, for yourself. I think that is one of the most game-changing thing that we have seen so far. So we are always going to go down to the root to understanding what is actually going on. So stay with me. Let us start by taking you back to understanding what is actually going on in Nigeria. Why is Boko Haram continue to fight persistently? What is the essence of the bandits? What is the essence of the ISWAP? Stay with us as we unfold them more and more today.
The benefits, until people go to the genesis of the insecurity, we will not have a solution. That is the genesis of the insecurity in Nigeria. It started. I keep quoting it. I've quoted it so many times. Others have also quoted it, not me alone. In 1960, just barely 5 months after Nigeria got independence in October, in fact, in October, I think it was 12th October 1960, the late Sadauno of Sokoto, Alhaji Samadu Bello, he said that this new nation, Nigeria, that was the word he used, should be an estate of our great-grandfather, Usman Dan Fodio. And we should never allow a change of power. He continued, the northern minorities we shall use as stepping stones, and the south we shall use as conquered territory, and we shall never allow them to rule over themselves. This ambition of the Fulanis to overrun Nigeria with their brand of Islam, which does not allow of religious tolerance, even within the Islamic faith itself, with a particular brand of Islam, so that if you don't believe in that brand of Islam, you are to be killed. Because even Yoruba Muslims, Yorubas were Muslims before Dan Fodio came to Nigeria. Islam in Yoruba land is older than Islam in the north. But we didn't take Yoruba didn't take the Islam from the north. Islam came to Yoruba land through a different route, and it predated that of the north. Even they regard Yoruba Muslims as infidels, because Yoruba Muslims are tolerant. In Yoruba land, we are very tolerant of religious differences. In families in Yoruba land, we have Muslims, we have Christians coexisting, living together, celebrating together. That is our own brand of Islam. So because of that, the Fulanis regard all of us, Christian and Muslim, as infidels. Because if you are a true Muslim, you are not supposed to live happily with a Christian. You are supposed to kill them. So I'm saying that those of us who think we are targets to be killed, but the same people who say they are the same country with us, we have a right to say no. We want to a place where we can live our own life peacefully. Where we can live our own life peacefully without being afraid to go to bed at night, that some people might come and burn our villages and kill us and rape our women. So that is why I don't blame people who are agitating for Yoruba nation, for Igbo nation, for all sorts of other things, because we are all confronted by the same terror, the same terrorism that is now ravaging Nigeria, which is based on this Fulanization agenda. The benefits, until people go to the genesis.
All right. It is the ambition of everyone to live in a safe nation. It is the ambition of anyone to wake up and live in a very secured and sane country. It is the ambition of everyone to live in a place where you will not be hunted down by terror. You know what this man is talking about? This man is trying to go deep down to the root. He is saying that after the independence, Ahmadu Bello made a statement that this country that just gained independence will be the estate of our forefathers, Osman Dan Fodio. And when the name is mentioned, Osman Dan Fodio, you know what that means. It signifies conquering of territories, because that is what the man came Nigeria to do, but he did not succeed to the end. So Ahmadu Bello is telling you that this is the estate of Osman Dan Fodio. In other words, it is the same mission we have come here to do, and that is what we are going to do forever. So they will use the North as a winning tool and never allow power to depart in the North, and use the South as conquered territory. As I speak to you now, there is all out tears in Ikwere local government. Why? Because these Fulani militia have taken place in Ikwere. I am just laughing at Ashley Dokubo, Wike, and all these people who think that they own everything, who thinks that they can oppress the people, do whatever you want to do. Save your people are dying, the monarchs are crying, the people are already crying. Anyway, we'll see how they are going to handle that. But what this man is trying to say in essence is that, see, these people right from time had agenda, they have agenda now, and the agenda is a present continuous tense. That they have agenda. The agenda is not just today's agenda. And that is why you see that they have neutralized the tension of insecurity into the people. They have psycho-conditioned people to believe that, oh, all these things are normal, all these things are normal. It doesn't matter. So even though you are being killed, even though they are terrorizing you, it's a normal thing. Don't worry. The federal government is fighting in. We need more recruitment. We do the like. Talking to people who don't have sense or what. For over 2 decades, these people have been conquering, moving. They're already in Port Harcourt now. They're already in Oyo, Osun, all those Yoruba side, Enugu and Port Harcourt. Look at where Port Harcourt is. Look at where Enugu is. Enugu and Port Harcourt. I'm not talking about people who have infiltrated in Abia, Imo, or those places. I'm talking about where these people are establishing cells now, all over the place. And some people are still yet to understand what is actually happening. So, no matter how you put it, it's a sectarian killing. It's a sectarian violence. So it is tied to religion. It is tied to ideology that Sharia is going to prevail. And this man made mention of their brand of Islam. You know, they used to deceive many people that, oh, Muslims are still dying. As Christians are dying, Muslims are dying, everybody is dying. Well, that narrative seems to be true, right? But that is the Muslims who are not having the kind of, let me say, Islam that they have. So that is what this man is trying to just explain to people, that what is going on in Nigeria today is started right from time. That is a promise, it's an agenda that they want to execute in Nigeria. So with this, I'm being joined with the president of Save Nigerian Group. Mr. Stephen has been doing an amazing job. He has been helping us to say in the international communities. Sometimes I'll even be watching his activities. I say, this man is not always tired of moving. Even yesterday, he was supposed to be with us here, but because of his activities in Capitol Hill, he couldn't make it. And I'm glad they have come to join us today. And I think where I'm going to start is by telling him to also explain to us, there is a petition that you put on our WhatsApp group, Save Nigerian Group. So the petition is on the comment section here. So I think you should start by explaining what the petition is all about to the viewers so that they can go there to sign. You said that the petition is just 60 minutes, so it doesn't take time to put your signature on it. You are welcome, Mr. Steve.
Yes. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me very well.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcel, for what you do. My name is Stephen Osemwegie. I'm the founder and president of Save Nigeria Group USA. I'm very glad to join Marcel on this platform to talk about the issue at hand, which is the crisis that Nigeria faces in terms of terrorism, insecurity, and mass displacement. And talking about the petition, the quick one, it takes you 60 seconds, not 60 minutes, because a lot of people don't have 1 hour to give. I'm appealing that you should spare me just 60 seconds, fill out the online petition. And what is that petition about? Our concern is that here in the United States, for the first time in a long time, we have a president in the White House who is interested in fighting and defending religious freedom worldwide. And if you notice what is happening in the world, there is a systematic attack on the Christian faith. It's been attacked across the Middle East, Africa, and Nigeria is the center of that attack. And President Trump is saying, stop killing Christians. As a matter of fact, when the late president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, visited the same President Trump in 2019, he asked him, and I quote, "Why are you killing Christians in Nigeria?" And President Buhari was confused. Well, it so happens that after that administration, the next administration rolled back some of the gains that President Trump makes. And thankfully, Americans chose to re-elect President Trump, not Nigerians. Americans did. And him coming back, he has started very frontally on the issue, which was not concluded in the last administration, about the killings in Nigeria. And we are setting up this petition as Save Nigeria Group organization, which is a 501c3 organization, to raise the bar, because we believe that, as many preachers have said, this is a curious time. This is a time, comment the man, comment the moment. This is a time to hit the jihadist Islamic terrorism that is ravaging not only Nigeria, the sub-region, the West African sub-region. This is the time to crush it in the head. And if we miss this time, we do not know when we'll have another president in America that will be interested in this issue. That is why this petition has become important. Because one of the things that every politician want to do, both in America and across the world, particularly in democracies, they want to act on behalf of majority of the people. When there are many competing interests for the United States, we believe that if we have 1 million signatures compiled with a letter asking President Trump to please act on the terrorism in Nigeria, not what is going on, not the Christmas Day bombing, which we are very grateful for, but to really face it frontally and crush it. To do that, we believe as a democracy, we must show public support to back that action. And that is the very important reason why every Nigerian, every African, every lovers of peace, both Christians, Muslims, that want people to have the right of belief, the right to practice whatever faith you choose in peace. If you support that, go to savenigeriagroup.org and sign the petition. It takes you 60 seconds and you'll be done with it. And what are we going to do with that information? We're going to compile it and go to the White House on June 20th. We're going for a mega rally to call for an end to terrorism in Nigeria. And we are tagging the rally Save Nigeria Rally. We believe Nigeria, like our name goes, needs saving, because the status quo is not sustainable. Something has to give. We cannot continue to have our people killed ruthlessly, massacred, and people just move on. No, we're saying that this has to stop. And that petition is how you take action. Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, it has been a ray of hope right from the day Donald J. Trump made that famous statement that he's going to come into Nigeria with guns blazing to wipe away those terrorists in Nigeria. Donald Trump is the president, and he have advisors and people he delegates things to do, like Randy Moore and the rest of them, especially concerning the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria. People are asking, sir, what about if people around Donald Trump now try to tell him not to take action and so on and so forth?
Yeah. So well, thank you, Marcel. There's a very big misconception that there are people around President Trump who may want to advise him not to do what he has decided to do. Well, that means those people do not know President Trump. President Trump is an independent thinker. He makes his own decisions. He picks people to work for him that agrees with his point of view. He does not really accommodate contrarian views as well. That is, some people criticize him for that, but he has a vision for the world. One of his visions for the world is that everyone should be allowed to practice their faith in any country they choose to live. He does not want this idea that because some people choose to force themselves on others, they can kill people. Normally, President Trump's advisors, the Congress members, they will say their own opinion, but President Trump already knows what is happening in Nigeria. And he said in December last year, 2025, and he says what is happening in Nigeria is a genocide. But yet, he appointed Riley Moore from West Virginia to lead a delegation to go and find out and get back to him. That has been done. They've gone to Nigeria. They submitted a report. But before sending them, he had already concluded that it is a genocide.
Exactly.
It's as though he arrived at the answer and said, okay, go find out if I'm wrong. And they came back to say you are not wrong. It is actually even worse than you're thinking, particularly in the Middle Belt states where places millions of people have been driven from their home, and what they tell us it is that is the jihadists who are professing expansion of Islam, radical Islam I should say, through violence is what is driving people away. It's not climate change, it's not communal clash, because again when you listen to some people they tell you, oh, it's two people fighting. No, it's not two people fighting. It is a terror group that wants to continue what they've been doing for years, funded by several groups, including international actors, to go and displace the local communities in Nigeria, particularly places like in Benue, in Plateau, in southern Kaduna, and Kwara, and now it's spreading down. I'm from Edo State, and I can tell you right now, our state is beginning to see encroachment of the Fulani militia who are driving people away from communities in Ovia Northeast is one of our impacted areas, and Edo North, people are paying tax now to go to farm. I'm telling you, Edo State in the southern part of Nigeria. So this stuff is not ending up north. It is spreading down south. That is why I, as a Nigerian living here in America, have said we're going to focus on this issue and we're going to create awareness about what is happening. That is why on June 20th, we want to bring out Nigerians across the board to say this issue must come before the American people. They must know what's happening. We are not here to deny or throw blames about. The perpetrators say who they are. They are a radical Islamic jihadist group. That's what they say. And their plan is to use violence to kill the Christian population. And those Muslims that don't agree with them are also being killed. The semantics about who is being killed is besides the point. Nobody should be killed in their home country for the faith they choose to believe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen. You know, I was surprised when the Nigerian government started denying that there is no Christian genocide, that there is this, there is no this, because I have a video of Lai Mohammed, who was the former Minister of Information under the last administration of Muhammadu Buhari. Just to take your 1 minute, listen to what this man said.
But in the wake of a renewed onslaught by tireless military against Boko Haram and their ISWAP allies in recent times, the insurgents have apparently changed their strategy. They have started targeting Christians and Christian villages for a specific reason, which is to trigger a religious war and throw the nation into chaos. Apparently, they have realized how emotive and divisive religion can be when exploited by unscrupulous persons. Lest I am misunderstood, let me repeat. The insurgents who delude themselves as Muslims, whereas they are nothing more than bloodthirsty, rapacious killers who subscribe to no religion, have recently started targeting Christians with a view to sowing the seed of confusion and discord between the two great religions. This is not to say that they have stopped attacking Muslims, but they seem to.
I think you understand what he said. So he admitted that these people are they made it a policy to conduct a direct attack on Christians. Though he said that they did not stop attacking Muslims, of which we all believe that, yes, we know that, yes, Muslims are being attacked, especially the Muslims who don't have the brand of their Islam. So we all were surprised when we started seeing people denying that there is no Christian genocide here and there. So the issue here, sir, if since we are already making move and appealing to international communities as well, so many people are saying that it is also important that we should look also inwardly within ourselves. How can we help ourselves, apart from appealing to international communities as well, regards to equipping vigilante group, or let everybody like us, like me. I went to training, I have my own gun, so I joined a vigilante group. So what can we do? How can we sensitize people more to making sure that at least if you are above 18 years as a man in Nigeria, you should go to training, join vigilante group, join NFS. Then police have automatic way of licensing gun for every vigilante person, but not that sophisticated gun, compassion, that kind of hunter's gun. A lot of people may underrate it that, oh, those guns don't have firepower. But I have seen so many villages, especially in northern Nigeria, that defeated Boko Haram because they're in possession of this gun that people are underrating. So how can we make this move, either sensitizing people or to let people know that you have a right to live, you've got to defend yourself? What are we going to do
Yeah,
about this?
very interesting, Marcel. What you are talking about is something that we in America, um, sometimes we get confused about it, particularly Americans that have not visited Nigeria before, because in America, like we do have the
Mm,
Second Amendment right here to protect yourself, right? And
yeah.
the argument around should people be armed, vigilante group, youths to protect themselves, has been something that our organization, Save Nigeria Group USA, have brought up before Congress members, before State Department actors, and civil society here. Our
Mm,
argument is that these terrorists and terrorism is escalating because the government is either unable or unwilling to protect the people. More so, the vast territory of Nigeria do not have enough men to even man each village or community. And when you leave
mhm,
people without arms, you make them sitting ducks. So that
mm,
conversation is ongoing because it's around the issue of legality. Nigeria does not have a law to bear arms, and the government strictly regulates vigilante and the rest of them.
yeah.
Some time ago, our organization raised issue around the MAC which is the Meyetti Allah cattle breeders group, who has arms from the Nigerian government's office. And we were saying,
Mm,
can you arm other group? Can you name other groups you've armed? Why are you arming only these guys who have been labeled to be part of the perpetrators?
mm,
In terms of people protecting themselves, I think all Nigerians at this time, particularly Nigerians that are on the front lines, should be asking well, I wanted to say Congress members, but their representatives in the National Assembly to make laws for communities to protect themselves. I heard that there was a effort to make state policing legal so that each state will have their own police. That is some conversation that came from the United States. We, through our advocacy and many other groups, we've been asking for the decentralization of the Nigerian policing, because here in America, we have state police, county police, local sheriffs. Of course, there's still the federal police. We can replicate that in Nigeria and it will go a long way. Since the sad part is the centralized policing in Nigeria, like what happened in Easter at Jos in the Aguarucuba area, it was just in front of a police station and they did
mm,
nothing. Why? They probably have orders somewhere to stand down or whatever the case. If there were people from that area armed as official police, local police, they will be able to confront and save lives. So I
mm,
agree that we must find ways to localize security, but there's also need to regulate this because some people would take advantage and become criminals and become a problem, a menace, particularly when you have poverty increasing, when you have people who are not well educated and you give them even a pump action, they could become an armed robber and increase insecurity. However, the status quo is not sustainable. There has to be a regulated, trained group locally to be able to defend each community, because at the end of the day, self-defense is a universal right, and Nigerians should be allowed to protect themselves.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sylvan. This is another angle we would like you to speak about. It's all about the complicity in these terrorist activities or terrorism in Nigeria. Because I was able to talk with one or two people who said that they are repentant Boko Haram, but I tell them that you people are not repented. And most of them told me what they want. It is simple. Their mission is to conquer Nigerian government, the system, not the people, because a lot of people there are supporting them, to conquer the system and impose Sharia. And everybody will just be under their brand of Islam. That if they can do that, that they will have peace. And talking about complicity about this, because I used to tell people that about Einstein said, if you give me 1 hour to solve the problem on earth, I will spend 59 minutes trying to define the problem and just using 1 minute to solve it. Because if we are able to define the problem, solving it will be easier. Now, in Nigeria, former governor of Borno State who handed over to Kashin Shettima, his name is Andemodu Sheriff. He appointed Boko Haram commander as a commissioner of religious affairs for the implementation of Sharia. So when the man started working, he said that, no, these people are about budget, corruption. So he said, no, he resigned and they started being violent. Nakurawa terrorist was invited. In fact, it was CDS, Christopher Musa, when he was chief of defense staff, told us that they invited Nakurawa group, that Sokoto people invited them to teach Sharia. So when they came, they see that Nigeria is not ready for full-blown Sharia. They started using violence to get people, and that is why they are killing. So in all these things that are going on, we still remember that the coalition of Buhari and Tinubu, when they joined ACN and CPC together, imported terrorists into the country. Now, this is not an allegation. It is when someone accepted that, oh, we imported it, or we did not import it to destabilize Nigeria, we imported it to do election, they have admitted that they imported it. What can we do to face this reality? Because this is the reality that these people imported these terrorists. These people are giving this Boko Haram appointment. Boko Haram have infiltrated the army, infiltrated everywhere. How can we solve this problem? Because I believe that there is no how, either military, police, no matter how you mention it, that will defeat Boko Haram, because it is the people in government. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you, sir, before you tell us what you think about this, is about last 4 months, maybe 6 months ago, Catholic school, they got an intelligence that the terrorists are coming to abduct their pupils. You know what they did? They now informed the Nigerian army. They sent battalion to come and guide the school. A call came from Abuja that these soldiers should leave, that the terrorists are coming. The soldiers left. The terrorists came with helicopter painted green, white, and green, and trucks. They abducted the pupils. And after some time, Rebado told us that the children are doing well. We should not worry. Then after 1 month, the French television reported that Nigeria paid $2 million to the terrorists. Like, the complicity is so obvious. So how do we go about this, sir?
Well, Marcel, in your statement, you made very, very, very serious points that requires a lot of deep thinking. Your knowledge on this issue is very vast, and I commend the examples you've laid out. I'm a Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria. Even though I live in the United States, I'm aware of the intricacies that makes Nigeria. My belief today is that there are elements within the government of Nigeria that support the terrorists, and they are high up. I also believe that there are elements within the same Nigeria government that want to end this terrorism, but they probably are afraid or they do not know how. And sometimes efforts like what they do in Washington, which you heard about the lobbying, spending $9 million, hiring DCI. I think those efforts are towards branding in a way that they say, do not wash your dirty linen outside. I've got calls
Mm,
from folks that say, hey, Steve, you're a Nigerian. Why do you embarrass your country? The conversation around that is always, my goal is not to embarrass Nigeria. My goal is to save Nigeria. My goal is to let the world know that we need help in Nigeria. Our government does not have the capacity or are not using the whole of government approach on this issue, and people are
mm,
bearing the brunt. My main focus is on the estimated 11 million who have been driven from their homes, who have been raped, who are still right now in camps that are not acknowledged by both the Nigerian government and the United Nations Refugee Agency. This is
mm,
the heart of where my passion is for. For those people to be given a voice, to be allowed to return home safely, for their stolen land to be restored. Until that is done, this is not going to be over for me personally and for my organization. So when you say the complicity, we've argued with the Nigerian government. Why are you rehabilitating terrorists?
mm,
Vladimir Putin, you may agree or not, I saw a quote from him saying his job is not to forgive terrorists. That is the job of God. His job as the president of Russia is to arrange the meeting. Nigeria does not want to confront this because, Marcel, breaking news,
mm,
99% of the terrorists in Nigeria killing Nigerians are Nigerians. There's this big
mm.
lie. Oh, they came from somewhere. They came from somewhere. That those who came from somewhere cannot take over Nigeria. They are working with
Yeah,
Nigerians who are not part of the terror group, which is why the government in those areas see the terrorists as their children. You heard the NSA says these are our brothers. The
yeah.
CDS says these are prodigal sons. Why do you think they say
Mm,
that? They know them. You know the terrorist leader. You know his father. Your father knew his father.
mm,
You grew up together. Today he's the excuse me. He's the leader of a terror group. We from the southern part of Nigeria can't wrap our head around it. That is the hydra-headed issue that Nigeria confronts. So it is not completely true to say the Nigerian government is perpetrating this. It's not true because
mm,
the Nigerian government
mm.
is sending soldiers to fight terrorism and they are dying. We just lost a brigadier general, General Brimo. He's from Edo. In Edo
Yeah,
State, we are a minority group in Nigeria. We value gallant leaders like Momo, who has risen to the rank of brigadier general. We lost him to Boko Haram, and him and his 6 officers. I'm sure you follow the news. How can you say in the same vein that Nigerian government is doing jihad and the same Nigerian government is having its troops killed by terrorists? So you can see that there's several part of this. So what we want to resolve, what we resolve to do as an organization is to leave the politics behind. Let us talk about the issue. How can we resolve it? If there are elements within the Nigerian government that want to really do the, for me, General Musa is an example of someone in the government that has proven that he wants to fight terrorism. That's someone we should work with. There are people in the government who deny this. Those are people we should call out and say, hey, stop denying. So it is a multifaceted issue that requires us to be very careful how we manage the narrative, because some people say Nigerian government is involved in this, they are doing this. In one hand, on the other hand, the Nigerian government has signed a pact with the US to counter terrorism. And we have 200 soldiers from America, Marines in Nigeria fighting this. So are you saying the US government now is working with the terror group? So no. So it
Yeah,
requires a myriad of understanding to say how we find solution is to find those who align with the problem, which is what you talked about 58 minutes talking about diagnosing and 1 minute solving the problem. I think that issue very applicable here for us to properly diagnose what is happening in Nigeria.
yeah. All right, that is awesome. You know, there are so, according to you, there are so many narratives fronting this. There was an extensive interview with the head of Nigerian Defense Intelligence Agency, retired, Commander Kunde Olawumi. I believe you know him. He served for Nigerian Navy for good 36 years. And he is the one that initiated the issue of Niger Delta militant. He single-handedly initiated it and worked it out and stopped it. He wanted to stop Boko Haram members. He arrested 426 persons, and he wanted to say goodbye to Boko Haram in Nigeria because they gave him power to do that. So they gave him the Defense Intelligence Agency he was, leading. DSS was under him. He said he ordered DSS to bring out documents they have, intel they have about this insecurity. And he was shocked to see that if he actually wanted to end it, because the reason why he asked DSS to bring out all those things is because the Boko Haram commanders he arrested, they confessed everything. They mentioned governors, they mentioned people in Aso Rock, they mentioned everybody who are sponsoring them. So he said, for me to stop this, I've got to arrest someone like the president, the ministers, the governors, the senators, and that is not possible. So he made, that was an hour, 30 minutes interview telling Nigerians all these things on Chinese television, but nobody cared to listen to him. This was the head of Nigeria Intelligence Agency. Then, just like you ask, Chamberlain from Chinese television asked him, sir, why is it that the administration of Buhari was buying Tucano jet from America? They were doing everything to fight this insecurity. They are deploying soldiers. He said because they know that that is not the solution. That all those things they are doing is not the solution. That if they want it to end, they don't need to do that. Just stop the sponsors in Aso Rock, in government houses, the thing is going to stop. So I said, if the head of Nigeria Intelligence Agency can say something like this, and nobody questioned him because he knows what he's saying. He said, we should go and ask the DSS what he's saying. That the DSS knows what he's saying, the DIA knows what he's saying, and nobody disputed the fact. So we have listened to so many people, and what we come to realize is that this is a jihad. And a jihad is something like everybody around them believe one thing that they believe. And let me show you this thing. The last thing I'm going to show you from Sani Yerima. Sani Yerima was a governor of Zamfara State and two-time senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So he was the one that brought Sharia into Nigerian constitution. He fronted it and he made a statement. He said, it is the ambition of the whole Muslim in Nigeria to turn Nigeria into a Sharia state. And you can't do that without a gun battle. Take a listen.
Well, you see, people don't know what Sharia is all about. First of all, Sharia is the principles and practice of Islam. You can't separate Sharia from Islam. They are one and one. So any Muslim who tells you that he doesn't want to live his life according to Sharia, then he's not a Muslim.
Do you think Nigeria should become a Sharia nation?
That is my ambition, and that is the ambition of every Muslim in this country.
So, as a leader, governor, chairman, president, you are expected to run your affairs with the dictates of Sharia. So, as a leader, governor, chairman, president, you are expected to run your affairs with the dictates of Sharia.
Item 62 says National Assembly.
Okay, to save your time, sir, let me stop the video there. So I already understand what you are saying, but these are the puzzles why we never believe that Nigerian government are fighting insecurity, because what they are doing is not the solution. So we believe that the complicity is too much. Like, they are doing all these things. Sometimes they will even invent what they call takia. Takia is a principles of deception. They can tell you this is what they are doing, but they are doing the rest thing. So we would like you, if you can also reach out to Kunde on that with me. They reach out to many people, including Sani Yerema, is still alive, and he's still making the same statement that they will turn Nigeria into a Sharia state. This is a two-time senator, former governor, and the whole people do respect him. And look at what we are seeing. So we really want to understand the problem so that the solution everybody is bringing will be a permanent one. So I think you may also tell us what you think about this.
Yeah, thank you, Marcel. I've seen the clip you played. I've seen it. The real challenge is that you are doing a great job as a journalist. You have this your platform to educate people, and you have these clips to back up in order to give people actual facts. So I want us to try to also be objective as best as you can. And one of the reasons why I say that is that I was born as a Christian in the Assemblies of God Church, Nigeria. I remember growing up, going out for evangelism. On Saturdays, we used to go with tracts in our neighborhood. I don't know if they still do that in Nigeria now, but we used to do that
Yeah,
back then.
yeah.
And when I went to university, I was a member of CASAL, Christian Association, Christ Ambassadors Group, in a university, and we went to rural areas, including during my NYC. We call it Rural Rugged Ministry. What was the purpose? We believed those who were not saved, we wanted to share the gospel to convert them. If you ask any one of us then, and the leaders of our church, where I was born and raised, they would want Nigeria to become a Christian nation from Port Harcourt to Zamfara to Sokoto. That is at the heart of the essence of evangelism. If you now just oppose that with what you just played, someone that says he wants Nigeria to become an Islamic nation is
A
an
Sharia state.
aspiration.
Yeah.
A Sharia state. He says Sharia. He defines Sharia not as violence or force. He believes in Sharia. He believes in Islam. He would like for all of us to believe with him, and that is at the heart of Christianity and Islam. And if it ends there, where we do contestation of ideas peacefully, we will not have this conversation.
Exactly.
I'm afraid that we may be misconstruing that ambition with the radical Islamic terrorist group of using violence, which is where the problem is. Someone that is Hindu in India would like the whole world to be Hindu, but he's not going to kill the whole world to be Hindu. You can choose not to be a Christian, Muslim, or any faith at all. Atheists are here in America. People can choose what they want, but don't use force. So I have not heard in the video you played that they were going to use force to do that. So I'm saying that whilst that video says I want to make Nigeria Sharia, he has not said he's going to use violence. And if you ask him today, he'll tell you the same thing. So they are not quite the same with what the terrorists are saying. The terrorists really are the problem, which is why we brand them radical. There's a radical element there using violence, and they must be stopped. And we are calling on all Nigerians to band together, irrespective of your belief, your church, denomination, and faith, to stamp out this group that wants to use violence. It's just like the military coup who use the gun to take over countries. Nobody really likes that, apart from the soldiers who want to take power by force, or those who rig elections in democracies in Africa using money and other means, violence to take power. It doesn't sit well with the people. It's the same that those who want to perpetrate their ideas and religion by force should be rejected in the same vein. I think that's the way I kind of draw it. In order not, because some people are making a mistake. They're brandishing all Muslims as terrorists. It is dangerous. It is wrong, because you have 2 billion people that are of that faith, and the terrorists are not up to 1 million if you count actual terrorists. Yes, you may see, oh, these people may support them secretly. People support different things secretly. But let us not brandish a group that is overwhelmingly peaceful as terrorists. Let us call out the problem, diagnose it correctly. Otherwise, you're going to lose track of so many people who you need. Nigeria half of us are Muslims. What are you going to do with them? Half of us are Christian. What are you going to do? As of today, we are in one country. There is nothing changing that in the next couple of hours, or I don't know. So my point is, to make us survive and make progress, we have to identify the problem. Instead of this, we may dangerously swing into the group of, oh, all Muslims are this. I know that's not what you were saying, but I know some people think that, and I always push back, because I know that even the Muslims themselves are bearing the brunt. That's the truth. But Christians are being targeted because the terrorists really want Christianity out of Nigeria. We must say no to that.
All right. What you just said is actually the truth. Like, I don't think there is anyone that will come out to say, "Oh, Muslims are terrorists." No, 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 no. I don't think there is
No, some people
anybody that
do.
I don't think that there is anybody, because I have so many friends in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. They disagree with the brand of Muslims that Boko Haram try to portray, even Hamas try to portray, all these people try to portray. They totally reject that. And let me tell you, over 52 Muslims from Nigeria cannot travel to Saudi Arabia. They banned them. So there is a clear distinction and definition. Why? They banned them because of terrorism-linked issues. So that is what we are saying, that yes, not all of them. And I think that is the truth, not all of them. So we actually appreciate you for what you are doing, standing up for people, standing in the gap, people looking up to you, where solution is going to come, and so on and so forth. It's something that becomes a burden at a time. Sometimes you have to carry the burden of the people, try to give people the hope, doing all those things. So at the end, it's only God that will pay you. There is nothing, there is no how maybe people will send you money or do all those things can even equal to the stress and everything you are doing. And sometimes you've got to spend your hard-earned money in all these things. So I really appreciate what you are doing. And we will also urge you to, help us to also target the base, that is the sponsors of these people, because without the sponsor of anything, there will not be insecurity. So those
Okay,
who are sponsoring them, that is
let
the
me
problem.
let me come in here so I don't forget. Marcel,
Okay.
very quick thing, three things. Number one is, to answer your question, we are supporting a bill before Congress right now, put forward by Chris Smith and Riley Moore. And we're using this platform to let Nigerians and all Americans who live here in the United States know that they can call their Congress members to support Bill 7457. It's called the Nigerian Religious Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026. That bill is presently before committee at the House of Representatives in the United States. So use your phone, go to what do you call it? I've forgotten the site. Look online to be able to find your representative. I've forgotten the site right now, but I'll remember it. But
Okay.
you find who represents you in Washington, give them a call as a constituent. Tell them there's a bill before Congress about Nigeria, and that bill looks to sanction sponsors of this terrorism. That bill looks to send aid to help the displaced community. That bill leads to condition Nigerian assistance to measurable improvements in protecting both Christians and other groups that are being attacked. That is number one. Number two, in terms of support, majority of what our organization do has been personally financed by me and my family because I am very passionate about this issue. Our country, both here at home and here in America, we are not used to collective effort. We're not used to activism. People just want miracle to happen. But we're beginning to grow and learn that a little here,
Yeah.
a little there can improve. So I want to invite you to visit savenigeriagroup.org and support what we're doing, because it is not easy to continuously use personal funds to push it, which is what we've been doing. Then the last thing I'll say is on June 20th, it's a summer on a Saturday coming up. We want Nigerians to show up at the Lafayette Park, just outside the White House. Why do
2
you
months
want? We
ago
want you
from
to come
now.
out. We want to exactly. It's a day before. Friday, Juneteenth is a holiday in America because of the African American holiday. That day, you can travel to DC. If you want to make that trip, go to our website and RSVP and book your trip. Come to Washington. You are invited. Whether you're American, African, from the Ghana, from Congo, from wherever you're from, whether you're American, you've never visited Africa, and you're concerned about what you're hearing, Join us outside the White House. And we want to pray, we want to sing, we want to hear testimonies from victims from Nigeria, and we want to ask the United States government to act quickly on the issue of ending terrorism in Nigeria. These are the reasons why we're gathering at 10 a.m. on June 20th. It's a Saturday, so you can't say you're working unless you're an essential worker. Beyond that, you can take a day off even if you work weekends. Let us show that we have support for President Trump's action. When we bring out the thousands of people and say we are asking for help as Nigerians living here in America, as voters, as taxpayers, that goes a long way, along with signing the online petition on our website, which I want to encourage everyone watching this to do. And let's support the YouTube channel by subscribing to Marcel's page and also help amplify his voice. And I want to thank him for having me on this interview.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
sir.
Marcel. Definitely like what you're doing.
I hope to see you in another day.
Yeah, let me know whenever. I really appreciate you. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, sir.
The benefits, until people go to the genesis of the insecurity, we will not have a solution. That is the genesis of the insecurity in Nigeria. It started. I keep quoting. I've quoted it so many times. Others have also quoted it, not me alone. In 1960, just barely 5 months after Nigeria got independence in October, in fact, in October, I think it was 12th October 1960, the late Sadauna of Sokoto, Alhaji Samadu Bello, he said that this new nation, Nigeria, that was the word he used, should be an estate of our great-grandfather, Usman Dan Fodio. And we should never allow a change of power. He continued, the northern minorities we shall use as stepping stones, and the south we shall use as conquered territory.
All right, Mr. Christian, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
I just want to say thank you for bringing me up. Thank you for your job, your work that you're doing as well, and you're getting the voice out there. But the last guest, I disagree with wholly. He's one of those individuals who would hug the snake and the lion that ate the sheep. Do you understand? He will let the sheep and the snake into the den and then hug them because they are the same ideology in their mind, because they're religion, not the same ideology, they're under the characteristic of a religion. For Nigeria, I believe any nation that's willing to cede land should not be a nation. You see them people over in the Ukraine, and Russia came through and wanted to take land. They're fighting to the death. What happened to the lions of Africa? My question to you.
You know, we were psycho-conditioned to believing, one thing Christian religion did to African people or have done to Africans is that they make you believe that you don't need to fight. God will fight for you. You just need everything. You will die for nothing. You will go to heaven. Like
what Bible?
No, it's a psycho-conditioning something. Like it's a psychological effect that people misunderstood about scriptures and Christianity. And I think that's the reality. If you see someone doing evil in the political arena, they will say, leave it, God will judge him. Like
what? No, wait. Christ never sat down and just said, well, God will handle it. That man even said in Luke 22:36, he said to his disciples, go sell your sword, go sell your purse and buy a sword. He didn't want us to die like him. So in my mind, I'm losing this understanding that you guys have taken the idea of martyrism, and thought that is the goal. When in reality, the disciples and the apostles who died, right? They had no choice but to die. And in that, they didn't deny Christ. Am I crazy? So they still preached, they still fought, and they still stood up. So the last guy, right? And to everybody in the chat saying that you have to split your nation, you are cowards. Point blank, you're cowards. You wrap your mind, you wrap scripture around you in order to justify being what we call in the United States a yellow belly, someone who will lay down on their stomach in order to, when they get stepped on. Am I crazy? What happened to Nigeria?
It's really pathetic because you know, we are just trying to wake up to the reality. Like for the past month, I have been advocating that people should actually go and arm themselves. You know, Nigeria is not like US, where there is Second Amendment, where you can have.
I got a rifle and a shotgun.
Let me give you,
right next to
yeah,
me.
let me give you an example. If group of terrorists entered America, they can shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they will not go free.
Not at all. Not at all.
So that is. But in Nigeria, they come willingly. They write you later that they are coming.
What?
They will come. They will write you later a notice that they are coming to kill you. They will come. They will kill the community. They will sack the community. And the military and the police will just come out and make a statement. I assure you, it is not going to happen. Now, let me give you an example. The president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Osemwegie Tinubu, he traveled to Plateau State to see the victims of insecurity. He did not go to where the incident happened. He just ordered them to come at the airport to see him. They came to the airport to see him, but that is not the problem. He vowed that such a thing will never happen again. Guess what? The following day, the terrorists dead him, and they kill another 10 people the following day. So
you know the guy, the British guy, Wilt Chamberlain. I don't know if his name is Wilt Chamberlain. No, that's a basketball player. Something Chamberlain, where he came after he had a conversation with the Nazis. He came with a nice little paper and a contract and said, "Peace in our time," right? And then I think the next year they got attacked, right? And then they had to get that boy out of office. So my issue, because what I'm seeing from over here in the United States, so I'm not all the way, because you're teaching me something. They write letters to you. They tell you they're coming into your house to take you, and you let them.
They are letting them. They are letting them because you see,
divide your nation.
You see, before Christianity came to Africa, before Christianity came to Nigeria, our forefathers fought the invaders. They fight till they are not blood. We used to hear about the Kumeku War. They fought even the British. You can't just invade them and score free. But today, everything has turned upside down. It's so unfortunate.
And sorry, the guest earlier said something about Islam, and he said that he said something about them being peaceful. And he said that something about the countries not letting in certain terrorist groups. Yeah, those countries work with the West. Now, if the West never named them terrorist groups, those countries would allow them to go into their homes. The issue is that's geopolitical. So that whole argument's out the window. Second, the ideology in and of itself is based on 4 categories at its fundamental. Subjugation, to put people below. Domination, to dominate all other faith, religion, and ideologies. Subjugation, domination, subversion, to use the levers of laws against the people in order to bring a ideology through force. And then you have that subjugation, domination, subversion, and destruction, which is equatable to death, right? Like if you see a building and it's destroyed tomorrow, you only have the memory. So destruction of all faith, religion, colors, and creeds who don't take the Shahada, believe in the last day, or take Muhammad as a prophet, right? If that's the case, at its foundation, that's not peace, right? And it's not about just Christianity, right? So this ideology in of itself should not be considered a religion. You understand? Am I crazy?
No, you are not. You are not. Go on.
Okay. So you have this person over here telling you that, we have to just work with them. Okay, cool. If that's the case, right? When they put their foot on your neck, right? How can you still work with them? If they seek Sharia, which is basically everything I stated, right? But made into law. you would see your people harmed and then say, well, we just either let God, like you said, let God handle it, right? God didn't want us to die like him, right? He was fulfilling a purpose. He was fulfilling his promise. He was fulfilling something. We are meant to spread the word and live in peace and defend the innocents. You guys have over how many dead in their churches?
Uncountable. Uncountable. Nobody can give the exact figure of the casualties we have. No, nobody.
And you have and then to all the cowards, and I think it's actually Muslims that are saying divide the country and then pushing that as a propaganda, right? Because why would you want somebody to come in your house to take a room and you don't allow them to do it, but they sit up in your house and squat all day and you don't get them out, right?
That's
Explain the division of Nigeria, because that's pretty much what he's saying.
You know, that is why I always quote Albert Einstein. He said, if you give me an hour to solve the problem on earth, I will use 59 minutes trying to define the problem, because you cannot solve the problem you don't know. You can't solve problem you did not define.
Yeah. So if somebody's shooting at you, right? So if somebody's shooting at you, you're just going to say, well, you can take this line, just stop shooting at me. You think they're going to stop shooting at you?
The problem in Nigeria started 1914 when Nigeria was amalgamated. That was when the problem started. Down to independence. After independence, we are still on the problem today. And I don't think there is any solution that people have not invented apart from one: returning Nigeria to the way it was.
I see. That's not a solution. That's surrender.
No,
that's literally surrender.
No, I don't believe it's surrendering, because
explain how you not surrender. If somebody takes
the system at this moment is positioned for surrendering, because they are using principles of infiltration. They are in the army right now. If they rise to army commander, they issue order to subordinate. Army should not fight them. If they rise to the president, if they rise to Senate president, they will control everything. So no matter how you fight, when you have your government supporting them, they will tend to defeat you.
You have no allies.
So that is why, right from time, I learned the reason why Ojukwu and Gowon, former military head of state, traveled to Aburi town in Ghana. They signed an agreement which is referred to as Aburi Accord. The reason why they signed the accord is because they saw this thing coming. They saw it 50 years ago. They saw this coming. They signed the agreement that every region in Nigeria must secure their own. You are in America, in your own county, or I don't know whether it's municipality you people used to call it.
Oh, no, we say states, or we say states, counties, and cities.
Okay, the county, that is the smallest level of the government.
Yeah, the city is the smallest.
Okay, the city is the smallest. Okay, the police in your city, are they from a far away state of America?
No, some come, some because they trade officers.
Okay.
We're united.
Okay, that is good. In the case of this, you see, America, what makes me love America is that America have one constitution.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Nigeria don't have one constitution. And this is what people fail to understand. We have Sharia law, and we have Nigerian constitution.
Hold on. You don't have one constitution. Just slow that right quick.
Let me explain that. Let me explain that better for you.
Okay.
Sharia law is in the 9 northern states. In that 9 northern states, they said they have Nigerian. First of all, they said they have Nigerian constitution, but there are so many things you will do. They will not judge you by Nigerian constitution. They have Sharia court. They have Sharia court of appeal. They have Sharia police, the Hizbah. So there is no how you can come in and say you are going. In fact, there was a girl. Maybe you must have listened to the news a long time ago. Her name is Deborah. Deborah was stoned to death. That is Sharia law, and nobody was arrested for that. Many people are being killed
Murder
today.
in the
You can't do anything because that is Sharia law. So
wait. So why not dissolve? So I hear you. Why not dissolve all Sharia courts? Because that's what we did in Florida, Texas, and in some other states. They banned Sharia. The idea that you can have a separate constitution and claim sovereignty over your own land is insane to me.
And now let me tell you the worst thing. Nigeria Constitution cannot amend Sharia law. It doesn't have the capacity to amend Sharia law. Nigeria Constitution don't have the ability to stop Sharia law.
No. You're not supposed to amend it. You're supposed to dissolve it. Why would you have somebody in your nation saying that you can do something to their citizens? Like if I'm a leader, right, and somebody else who is outside of my nation decides to, you know what, harm my citizens, that person should either be hung personally or placed in jail or exiled. You're not supposed to allow something like this to metastasize in your nation without fighting behind it. Like, I hate the idea that you guys have people, like in the comments I'm reading, oh, well, division and jihadis. Yeah, you're supposed to slaughter those who would slaughter your people. Point blank. That makes no sense. Is there no more men in Nigeria?
You know, let me give you a little story.
I'm so confused. I'm sorry. I'm emotional.
Maybe you must have heard about Oduduwa Republic agitation, Biafra Republic agitation. These are indigenous group of people who said they want to secede out of Nigeria. And in the last decades, you have groups like IPOB. IPOB was a peaceful group. You know what happened? A lot of people now started creating a splinter group, a group that resembled the original group. Okay. They will now make that group to commit crime. They will blame it on the original group. And the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra now, as I speak to you, has been sentenced to life imprisonment. You understand? For
retaliating against those who will step on him.
For standing up, yes, to defend and say, no, enough is enough. We are not part of this shit. So, you know, a lot of people have been, psycho-conditioned to believing that, man, maybe one day Nigeria could get better. But I have done a lot of assignment about this from 2012. I started studying Boko Haram in 2012 when they gave an order that Christians should leave northern Nigeria. They gave 3 days ultimatum. United Nations had sitting on sectarian violence in 2012 because of that. And the ultimatum expired. They started killing Christians, and nobody came to our rescue. They have been doing that from 2012. So I started studying all these things. Their mission statement is this: to conquer Nigeria by taking over the government and impose Sharia. It's simple. And you see some persons like Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, Islamic cleric, saying that the Boko Haram is a blessing to northern Muslims. And this is the same man who have access to all part of Nigeria security apparatus. If they hold security meeting, federal security meeting, which is supposed to be confidential, this man will say that someone called him from Abuja to tell him what they said in the meeting. And this man used to visit the terrorists all the time. Imagine if this man is going to visit the terrorists, the police will follow him, the military will follow him, and the terrorists will order the police and the military not to come with guns, and they will go there disarmed. And you see what is going on in Nigeria, a lot of people don't know. There was a police officer.
You give me too much at once. Right? So the last thing, what caught my attention really is that a man who was in a leadership position went to speak and talk to terrorists within his own region and decided to go unarmed in an act of surrender. That's an act of surrender.
Yeah, he's an Islamic cleric. He's an Islamic cleric and a retired soldier. So he said that the terrorists are not going anywhere, that the terrorists are their people. Now, he made a shocking statement. He said, don't believe what the government are telling you. The government know the names of these terrorists. They know their location, and they know them by their name. So
why don't you go deal with them?
Deal with him?
No, not deal with him. If you guys know where the terrorists are, because listen, I'm not educated in Nigeria. I'm American, so this is just me coming from my paradigm, right? In my paradigm, in my United States, right? If a leader in any way, shape, or form deal with terrorists, right? And as they dealt with terrorists, they went there, one, unarmed, right? Two, giving concessions. Three, aiding and abetting, right? If he wasn't put in an electric chair, right, he'll be dropped in the sea. So what happened? Like I get what you're saying, right? It's been there since 1914, right? So the problem's already been there. Why haven't you guys used force? Like you guys, I see some excursions into the forest, right? But there's
you can only use force against the terrorists if there is no collusion from the government, if government are not supporting them. You see, what happened in Plateau State last, there is one American humanitarian, Alex Barbier. That is the last scene he visited of attack. When the terrorists came to attack the community, vulnerable community, and the community wanted to chase the terrorists after the attack, the soldiers came. The soldier now prevented the community people from chasing the terrorists and started shooting up. We have so many occasions. There was a time in St. Plateau State.
Stay there. What?
Yeah, you have to swallow the bitter truth about the reality. You've got to swallow the bitter truth. There was a terrorist attack that took place adjacent to the military base, and the local government chairman got to confront the soldiers and said, "Why are you people so silent? And look at the terrorist activities going on in your backyard." They said they don't have the mandate to fight them from Abuja. So it is beyond what you think. It is beyond what you think.
Wow.
I was just telling my former guest that Boko Haram was appointed as a commissioner of religious affairs for the implementation of Sharia in Nigeria state. So I'm trying to let people understand that for you to solve a problem, you must know the problem you want to solve. Because if not, we'll just be playing, we'll just be romancing, thinking we are doing something when we are doing nothing. The problem we are facing is a religious problem. It's not only in Nigeria. America is facing the same problem. You can see so many of them coming. The whole places from around the world, they are facing problems. But the difference between the West and Africa is this. They believe that in the West, they believe that in the West, they can use population agenda to conquer them. The West is not giving birth to more children, so they can give birth to more and more. So with time to come, like in Canada, they said in 2060, there will be the highest population in Canada, so they can vote in Sharia. So it's an agenda. But in Africa, I'm an African man in Nigeria. If you have 6 children, I can have 10 children. So you can't use that population against me. So they have to use gun. So this is the difference, but one agenda. They have to use gun. So now everybody in government, not everybody, so many people in government who are supporting them will not support them openly. And that is why you see they spend millions of dollars recruiting this Boko Haram. They call them repentant Boko Haram. I want you to write what you are hearing now. Go and do investigation about it.
Wait. Repentant?
They take the terrorists. Let me repeat that. They take the terrorists. They arrest them. They take them to where they call rehabilitation center. They will rebrand them, put them back to the society.
And call them repentant.
It's not funny. This is not funny.
It's not funny at all. And listen, it's not. But it's when you know, right? When you know a man slaughtered 50 people, right? And you say he's repentant now, and there should be no punishment, and he should be free back in society. When the dog bites too many people, you have to put that thing down. Am I wrong?
That is the reality.
I'm so sorry. Listen, and I keep saying Nigeria is a zoo. Nigeria is a zoo. Nigeria shouldn't be a zoo if you have borders. You just have people who are unwilling to fight for them. Like everybody that's saying divide Nigeria. When I hear that, I'm like, wait, why would you continue? Because what I see in the picture in the top, right? I see big green on top, and they're just slowly swallowing the southern Africa. There's no pushback. It looks like it's just inching slowly, and there's no pushback.
You know why there is no pushback?
I believe those.
You know why there's no pushback?
Why?
It's not up to 20 Nigerians that know the problem. They have deceived almost everybody, both people in power. They deceive so many people. Many people, if you try to talk to them, this is the problem, they will try to tell you that is not the problem. That is the reason why we are here. That is the reason why nobody, see, if we discover that this is the problem, give it 1 year, the solution will come.
Yeah, and because I also study Islam, right? I study Hadith, I study Tafsir, I study the Quran, and I study Fiqh. So I know at the fundamentals of what they are, right? In Surah 929, you remember that verse, Surah 929. That's what all these people are following, right? They're following the book, right? Just because you don't pull the trigger doesn't mean you're not a part of the cause. So those people who are hollering divide Nigeria are technically a part of the cause, right? So I just want to leave you guys with this, because this you've taught me a lot in a short amount of time, and honestly, it makes me more and more willing to speak in the streets and push my government to aid you guys further. But I don't want to aid anybody who's going to continue laying on their belly, because then that's a disservice to those who are aiding you. If you're not going to fight, then what's the point of me aiding you, right? What is the point of America helping you if you're not going to help yourself? Because then you're just taking money out of my family's mouth. You're just taking resources out of my nation for no reason. If you're not going to help yourself, like Iran, the Iranians, they're turning up, right? We
did more than our Iranians.
You did more.
Yeah, many people were killed. Thousands of people were killed.
Yes.
When we were protesting, the war did not show up.
Yeah, you didn't show the world. That's the issue too. You guys, it came late to the West. It came late to the West. They've been hollering for over 47 years too, as well. But they made it. They made it known that they were fighting, right? That's the difference. They made it known that they were fighting. They made it known that they were standing up. Yes, you guys laid down completely, and that's hard for us over here to look back and say, "Dang Africa, we love you, but what is going on? Why are you committing suicide?" Excuse my language. I know you're not allowed to say that word, but why are you committing self-deletion? Self-deletion, allowing for listen, love to you. Can I leave you with a prayer, please? May those who know your name speak of it in fame, fortune, and legacy. May those who know your story speak of it under glory and under Christendom. May you rise, may you rise, may you rise. Love to those who love you, and may you always be loved. Man, defend Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you.
Love you, brother.
All right. Thank you so much.
If bandits can overrun a whole brigade command of a nation state, of the army of the most populous black nation in the world, they will operate for 2-3 hours successfully, run down a brigade command, repeat the same feat in a matter of days, on and on. And you think we have a nation? See my pain. My pain is that I asked myself, if I were a soldier, will I shoot a bullet for this country? I've said this for a very long time, that Nigeria does not display the requisite discipline that is required for nationhood. Unfortunately, it has permitted the military, just like it has affected every sphere of our existence as a country. Now, you don't need to be a military expert to know basics, like force security, operational security. I was just wondering, where was that relegated to in the strategic book of Nigerian military? Because I was in primary school when I started reading military magazines. There was no internet. I had some uncles that used to send me magazines from the US and from Europe. And from that time, you get conversant with some basics in military operations. Way back 80s or even earlier. And right now, in the 21st century, you have the military of the largest black nation of the world sending troops to harm's way, no strategy in force security, no enforcement of operational security. Bandits could operate for 3 hours successfully, kill generals, and there's no response. God, how do you explain it? bandits